Alright, so I started cutting my hair. Um, I only have scissors, so I'm not gonna do a good job, but it won't matter. In a couple days, it'll be filled in with more. I just, I just been grabbing chunks of hair and cutting it. I don't have a three-way mirror, so that shit. I hope it's not like. Anyways, I'm trying to find. I'm looking for my new persona, my next look. Um. Oh no, I wanted to bring up something that's gonna be kind of left field, but I mean, it's. I guess it's pertinent. I guess it's relevant or relative. Uh, but the reason I'm bringing it up because it's a hard. It's hard to make a facetable distinction for like why is this relevant. 'Cause it seems like poking at somebody. Oh, for your beliefs are wrong or something. Where it's not about beliefs, but it might be about uh, deployment of multimedia, like how multimedia has been deployed throughout antiquity. Sometimes we're talking about that we don't know. So like for instance, the word God, right? It is in the scriptures that before the God of the Old Testament, right? That there were that people didn't observe a singular uh, God, right? That they observed fabulous creatures that were also a bunch of scoundrels, right? So what is that, right? Because when that time there was no God, unless they were using the word sound like you hear coming out of my mouth for something to describe something else. It was a word for something else. Maybe something that gets caught in the net in the of the mesh, like in the mesh, the clef. Like remember I was saying every word for God was once an ancient name for shit. And like tar and ash and soot and set, like when you sat, like you shed and I shed, not but because information is not really wrong, ever wrong. It's just wrong for the time. That it could be wrong for a time, for the time. Then that's how you people encounter the wrath. But for how for the timeliness, or the appropriate. Is it funny if it's too soon? If it's funny or if it's too soon, kind of thing. Like, because it could be funny if it's not too soon. It has to do with like how people, or just allowing people to to grieve and go through the thing of being human, having a human experience, and then you can laugh about it later. They'll pay you because people after a long day need a way to unwind and get together and maybe have a few people chip in, and hire a comedian. Um, okay, so the gods as multimedia, right? Because we deal with fractions of something like a mystery system with the most preservative means that we had to that they left behind, right? Just the only thing that is really that you can. So like papyrus rhymes with Osiris. I was gonna get into that and iris, right? Iris. What is iris, right? What is a cortex? Like what is a cam? Like the cam, like, that's the divine ratio. Horus on the horizon. Um, Horus on the horizon. Iris, papyrus, Osiris. It's an ah, and Egypt was for a time, not all the time, and I can't even call a place Egypt. The people did they even know that they were Egyptian? Like, it would be new to them. I would be like telling them that they're Egyptian. They'd be like, "What is that?" Maybe they call themselves something else. Like, I like Uh, there's a well, let me not get into that. Okay, so yeah, 'cause multimedia was highly visual in the ancient times, right? So highly visual. I mean, now you have Braille. It could be. I mean, you could describe reading as being visual, but it's just words on a papyrus, right? And sometimes those gods will represent planets or something where throughout time they get represented twice, and it doesn't make sense. So we'd have a disconnect. It's a disconnect because Tiamat is a rock belt around Mars from the destroyed planet called Tiamat, which is where Mars and Earth came from. The first, both Mars and Earth were part of Tiamat, and the mares of Diocetes were sent by Tiamat to destroy fight Hercules, because Hercules had become an antithesis type of archon. Uh, when uh, because he was a protagonist, and then the mystery system deteriorated, and he became a overlord, demiurge, a demiurge. Oh, cool! I broke into some. This is interesting shit, but usually I can't broach. You know what I mean? Like there's no foyer into the synopsis and everything, so I can't. But you will begin to see why we will correlate mythology to multimedia. Like media is Medea, the mother goddess of illusion, right? Media, Medina, Medea, and what am I trying to get to? I was trying to say. Well, anyways, media is a flat, dried, preser- preservative for invention. A, a dried out, flattened, dried out means of preserving invention. An invention is flat. Like we round out, like on tablature, we round it out to try to get the instruments to sound like human voices, human vocal cords. It's to strike a chord to resonate with people, the listener. Like you have to harmonize, and the music is flat when it's on tablature and tablet. It's multimedia. Mm. So Medea, right? Medea, or like Parna, the goddess who conquered her fear of being seen naked before the eye of Camelot. Uh, before man, the only thing that man has is the apple of the eye of Camelot and the lowly body. So it could strike a chord, and then, as you know, it takes two to tango, and like certain things like that. It's technology that is sublime in mythology. But what's the technology? Genetic engineering, like the technology. It could be seed technology, right? For germ has seed technology is flight. It is flight, but it doesn't always select the means of flight. Seed technology can select the means of slow travel, land travel. You know, it has to do with the thickness of the shell, and and firing information protected by that shell to a ocean on a distant planet, metaphorically to a distant planet's ocean, to impregnate that celestial body. Um, that sounds funny. Somebody got a sense of humor.